Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Andy Slabs, and today I'm going to be breaking down the ultimate movement guide for Apex Legends in Season 3. I'll be showing you advanced techniques and basic skills every player needs to master in order to become a true legend in the Apex scene. I will also be crushing some movement myths people still believe to this day. All of the timestamps will be listed in the description down below. You may have seen some of these tips a while ago, but I bet you forgot about at least one of them, and some of these you may have never heard of before. So with that out of the way, let's get right in today's video. Now before we break down all the tips we have today, let's talk about your controls. First thing first, make sure your crouch is set to toggle so it only activates while you're holding it. You also must make a second bind for jump, forward scroll wheel or backward scroll wheel depending on if you swap weapons while scrolling. I personally have it set to forward scroll wheel because I swap weapons with 1 and 2. I highly recommend you do forward, but if you don't, it's okay. One of the greatest mechanics in Apex Legends is sliding. You can shoot while sliding, move faster down hills, and increase your overall speed while making you harder to hit. The first basic thing I'm going to be covering is how you should be running everywhere. Whenever I rotate anywhere, I'm constantly doing this, so I move faster and I am much harder to hit. All you have to do is sprint forward, then slide, and jump before your speed runs out. Then repeat the process. This may take some getting used to, but once you master this simple move, you can start incorporating b-hopping with it, making it even harder to hit, while showing off to your friends you have a massive personality. Yep. Alright, so now that I've already gone over how to slide jump, let's go over some of its uses. So there's two things you can do with slide jumping. One is to completely redirect your movement. Here I'm just going to run up, turn the opposite direction, hold down S and slide to go backwards. Now let me just do this one more time from the other side. Just run up, turn right, and slide backwards. This doesn't seem like a huge deal, but you can completely change where you are, confuse your enemies, and buy you time for heals. In addition to redirecting your movement, it's also great for pushes. So say I need to climb, I can use the slide jump to gain way more momentum a lot faster. All I'm doing here is I'm pressing scroll wheel as soon as I reach the top, and then I'm sliding forward. You don't think it's that much faster, but it actually is. Here is what it would normally be if I was just to run over. Doesn't seem like a huge difference, but trust me, when people are shooting at you, that little difference is all you need to get the W or the loss. B-hopping used to be amazing in Apex because you could B-hop while still healing, thus not losing any of your speed like you normally would while you were healing. Since Apex wanted to lower the skill cap, they disabled this, and because of that, so many people stopped B-hopping. But it is still crazy useful, especially when combined with slide jumping or wall jumping. B-hopping in Apex is very similar to Counter-Strike, except you don't necessarily have to hold down crouch while doing it. I personally recommend you do, because that's what I do, and it's a little bit faster and more consistent when you're holding down crouch, but then again, the choice is yours. The simplest way to do it is to simply sprint forward, slide with crouch key, then jump with scroll wheel, continue jumping while strafing left and right with the A and D key. Just keep moving in one direction, only left or only right, while still jumping with scroll wheel. You alternate a few jumps while holding D, then a few jumps with A, and you repeat the process. Make sure to hold down crouch the whole time you are hopping. Please keep in mind B-hopping does not necessarily make you faster than normally running, but it does make you insanely hard to hit compared to running in a straight line. Not to mention, it makes other people think you are really good at the game even if you can't aim for the life of you. Now, while you are B-hopping, please don't press W. Only press W during your first slide and then let go of it. I'm going to do a live demo breaking down what I'm doing while I'm doing it so you can better understand how you too can start B-hopping today. Alrighty, so now that I have told you how to B-hop, I'm just going to break down what I'm doing live so you can know how to do it a little bit better. Alright, so I'm just gonna walk forward, sprint, slide, jump. Alright, slide jump's how you're gonna start every single B-hop. And then as soon as that happens, I'm taking my finger off W and I'm gonna be scroll wheeling, right? Because that's my jump, and holding D to go right and A to go left. Alright, here we go. So run, slide, jump, D, A, D, A. Now keep in mind I'm holding down crouch this whole time and my finger is off W. It's a lot easier when you go downhill, but no, you do not actually have to go downhill. Alright, let's do it one more time. Run, slide, jump, D, A. I'm holding down crouch, fingers off W. All I'm doing is going A, then D, and then A. And I'm just scroll wheeling. It's really simple. Alright, well, now you're a god at the game. You're welcome. Here's a bonus tip for all you Octane mains out there. While Octane is stimmed, he can be hop heal and still be going faster than a normal person running. It's a little bit slower than a max run while stimmed, but you don't really lose any speed and it's perfect when you're on the run. I highly suggest you incorporate this in any fight because you will probably end up winning. Still to this day, many people don't know wall jumping is in the game. It is a little more complicated than slide jumping, but don't worry, you will soon learn how to do it. There are a couple ways to do it, but my way is the easiest and the simplest, so listen up. In order to wall jump, all you have to do is find a wall that is too high to climb. It doesn't necessarily have to be too high to climb, it's just way easier if you can't climb it to begin with. All you gotta do is you gotta sprint at the wall, press crouch to slide, then spacebar to jump, and right as you hit the wall, I want you to hit your scroll wheel, which will activate your jump, thus bouncing you off the wall. It seems complicated, but it really isn't once you get the hang of it. This move can be used to juke opponents, get high ground, and make you look edgy as hell. This technique can be a little complicated, so don't get frustrated if you can't do it your first time. A lot of it comes down to personal preference and how fast you want to go up it versus how much you want to strafe. So pretty much you just find an upward zip line. You start riding it, usually in Skyhook or in Capital City. About a half a second after riding, you detach yourself from the zip, do a 180, then reattach yourself and repeat the cycle until you reach the top. I personally have my interact key set to F, so I press F to start riding, then I press F again, kind of combined with spacebar to release myself, do a 180, press F again to reattach myself, and I continue the cycle all the way up to the top. I saw this move being used by many pros, especially Dizzy, and it is absolutely amazing. It's a trick that you definitely need to know how to do. You become much harder to hit while traveling up the zip, and can get yourself to high ground while taking much less damage than normal if you were just to stand still and be an easy target for enemies. Here are 2 more vertical zipline tips. The first one is to use the zipline to propel yourself forward. Just connect onto it and instantly jump off. My interact button is F, so I press F and I do a scroll wheel jump to instantly launch myself. You can use this to redirect your momentum in a fight by jumping behind someone or going around when it's going up in a building, going to different floors, etc. You can also use it when you're running away just to get that extra 10 feet of distance between you and the enemy. The second tip is also very simple. Spin on ziplines. Like seriously, just spin on them, especially when you're going on balloons. If you can't zip jump consistently, simply spinning around while riding a zipline makes you a lot harder to hit and can increase your chances of survival by a lot. Now, besides vertical zip lines, horizontal zip lines are a very important part of life. You ride them, they get you around very quickly and usually seem to be safe, but you are pretty vulnerable when riding them. If you want to be a little harder to hit, simply reconnect and deconnect yourself while spamming spacebar. That's fine and dandy, but you're only going up and down. If you want to be extra hard to hit, you want to strafe left and right using A and D. You can go above the zip line, you can drop a little lower, whatever you're feeling. Like see right here, I'm staying a little bit lower, whereas here I am jumping a little bit higher. It really just depends on your playstyle and what you're trying to accomplish, but there's a very large variety of what you can do on a zipline, so why on earth would you want to stand still? Since it's Season 3 and Respawn decided to spice things up by adding a moving train to the map, don't ever forget that the train can launch you hella far if you're playing Pathfinder. All you gotta do is grapple to the back of it while it's moving and catapult yourself through the air, moving insanely quickly, watching all the spectators down below. Not to mention, you can use it for rotations while playing in ranked. Just hop on the train, simple as that. But keep an eye out on the map because the train does tend to make frequent stops, and it would be awkward if you jumped on the train only for it to stop 3 seconds later. This last tip probably is the easiest one to do, and I'm assuming so many people already do this, but just in case you are not, don't stand still. Seriously, unless you were camping in a house, never stop moving. If you're looting a box, keep pressing A, W, S, and D so you aren't an easy target for snipers. Especially with the addition of the charge rifle, you stand still, you will be destroyed. Never run in a straight line, even if you are slide jumping. Keep moving left and right so snipers cannot determine or predict your future movement and destroy you. Also, when you are shooting, don't stand still. You can always jiggle left and right while still keeping your accuracy, but making you harder to hit, especially if you're reloading. In between reloads, be sure to combine slides and jumps so your enemies can't punish your reload time. Keep moving side to side so you can inflict more damage than you take faster. A lot of movement in fights is what tends to keep me alive when I'm 1v3ing squads in pubs, and it's probably the most important mechanic in fighting besides your aim. There are multiple ways to increase your distance while using balloons or dropping in on the map. To maximize my distance while using a balloon, I look straight up until I reach about 130 speed. Then I dip down to about 145, then look straight up again until I touch the ground. As you can see, it takes me much farther than if I were just to dolphin dive, staying around 140 speed, or if I was just to look straight up the whole way until I landed. As for the dropship, if you are landing far away from the dropship, look straight up until you reach about 125 speed, then dip down to 145 speed, and once you hit 145, look straight up until you hit 135, then down again to 145, and continue the pattern until you land. Now, if the dropship is headed to where you would want to land, leave the dropship about 500 meters away from your target. You want to drop down instantly to about 150 speed, and dolphin dive going up and down, staying around 148 to 150 speed until you land. These are basic tips and work well, but if you have a better speed, please comment it down below. In case you already were a movement god, and this video was completely useless to you, here are some movement myths I'm going to bust about Apex Legends right now. Some legends move faster than others. This is completely false. All legends have the same base movement speed. The reason Gibby seems slower than Wraith is simply because the arm animations are slower on Gibby than Wraith. In addition to that, what FOV you play on can trick you also. A wider FOV may make you seem like you're running faster, even though you are keeping the same general speed. Voiding while using Wraith's portal makes your portal farther away than not voiding. This is also completely false because it does not matter how fast you are going, because the portal gets placed after a certain amount of distance traveled by you. So yes, you do travel faster, but you do not travel farther. Getting shot stops your slide. This is also false. Getting shot does slow you, making it harder to start a slide, but if you're already sliding, you won't be slowed as much, especially if you're a Gibby or Caustic who have the 4-5 passive, which cancels out slows by enemy bullets. Also keep in mind, you don't even have to hold down the W key once you start sliding, you just need to hold down the crouch key. I hope you all learned something today and enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy this video, please slap that like button, and if you have any other movement tips that I missed, please comment them down below. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe now and be on the lookout for more Apex content coming soon this week. My name is Andy Slaps, and I hope you have a wonderful day.